Guys, we just had an epic podcast with Vinnie from Less Than Jake right here, and we wanted to do just a little side hustle, just a couple more questions after the pod to get a little bit more behind the scenes action. I don't know if you had any left over, but I had one for you, Vinnie, that was really like, there's been so much change I know we got into it a little bit with in the podcast, but there's just been so much change in the music industry. I mean, you've been doing this for 26 years, right?
Yeah.
26, 27?
On to 27 soon, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so like, I mean, the landscape of music has just changed so much. What has been the biggest shift in music, in your opinion, and was it an advantage or a disadvantage for you guys as a band?
Okay, so two things, right, about the state of where music actually switched out, right? So the first one was cheap storage. So when storage became reasonable, so I could go to a Best Buy and I could buy a terabyte drive. When that became cheap enough for me to go get it without blinking, that changed the game of music, because it went, oh, well, my friend has an iPod and I can take all the music off his iPod and I could drop it off into this terabyte drive. So it became that you were collecting digital music at that time, and it became cheap enough that it wasn't a big deal. So that's number one. Number two, streaming, because it's not about ownership of music anymore. It's just about listening to music. So and when that flip happened to people going, oh yeah, we don't necessarily have to buy the CD anymore because it's just available for whenever I want to listen to it. It's on Spotify or Apple Music or Deezer or whatever it is, right? So, and to answer your question, is that an advantage or disadvantage? It's a disadvantage because the income stream gets dramatically smaller because people aren't purchasing music. They're just renting it at 0.0001 for every listen, right? Which is a negligible amount of money. Like it's the tiniest of all money when it comes to that. So that income stream of ownership of music dramatically went down. But in the future, hopefully, it'll be something great for our band because it opened the field of a music renaissance, right? That's going on right now. If you're paying attention, it's the fact that if Drake had a new record came out, and the fact that millions upon millions upon millions of people were able to access that, listen to it, even if they hate Drake, so much hype, they were able to dial it in and listen to, and it's a long record, so whatever, but be able to cherry pick the tracks that they like and then save them for future listening, or listen to it once and went, new Drake record's terrible, I'm going to stick to Pusha T or whatever, right? So, and that's sort of where it's at. So we're living in a listener's world right now. That's what we're at, you know? So for people who are making content, it's a little bit tougher just because we're waiting for the income stream of all those people that are supposed to be listening to sort of catch up with the money factor of it. So
and when you say tougher, it's tougher to bring in revenue?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
We're
just in a gray area right now,
right.
I think, right? So I think when we come out of the tunnel, artists will be making the same, probably a little less, but hopefully the same amount of money they were making before in the ownership model.
I feel like you guys probably had a harder time getting, I guess, you know, when people say getting discovered, mm-hmm. right? I mean, like in today's world, we have all of these, right? There's so much social media. Like you in 2006 you started the band in 1992, right? So 2006, YouTube comes out. You could have been like drumming, like performing, put a video out, it sparks, goes viral, and then you get discovered.
Of course.
Well, you didn't have that capability. I mean, what do you see as, you know, the opportunities for others who are musicians? You know,
it's different, right? So now the disadvantage of how technology is right now, there's a lot of static, right? So if I was a 16-year-old, right, I have not only the entire internet to distract me from music, but I have satellite TV. I have Netflix. I have all these other things, and I like to call it it's just white noise. There's so much white noise that's out there that's distracting people from discovery that you would think that it's the opposite, because there's so much ways to discover that it's easier to be discovered. But not when someone goes, well, okay, me, you, Ty, we're going to record a song today. We're going to put it on Bandcamp. We're going to put it on YouTube. We're going to do our own website. We're going to and put it out there. It's that easy to create content and push it into a place where people could discover that content, right? But at the same time, there's tens of thousands of people who are doing the same thing. So it's hard to break through.
Right.
While it's easier now than ever to discover music and discover, it's hard to break through that ceiling for people to actually pay attention, get a hold of it, and grab a hold for the ride and push it forward, right? So as you're going, it's harder now for people to sort of take possession of what you're doing, because there's hundreds of other things at their disposal.
That's where really the talent factor comes in, right? Because I mean, you have to have the talent to break through the noise, right?
Of course.
And then that's what leads to maybe something sparking, getting viral.
Yeah, but talent doesn't equal success. Luck, for the most part, is something that equals success, because there's a point where I'm putting a drum video up on YouTube, but there could be another guy who's doing another drum video, and another guy's doing drum video. But and I call it the X factor, and the X factor never changes. There's this star quality. There's, whether it's luck, whether it's a mixture of luck, talent, whatever it is, there's an X factor. And when you meet people sometimes, you go, there's something about this person that's not this person. There's something about this person that's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people, and you don't know what it is. Yeah. It's an anomaly. And maybe that's luck, maybe that's a mixture of luck, talent, looks, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
There's not. So it's not just talent. It's not, I'm a great drummer, so therefore people will pay attention to me, because I'm a mediocre drummer, and I've been blessed enough to be able to play around the world. You know, it's like the top tier of drummer, you might not even ever hear from him. Top tier golfer may never be on a pro circuit, but he can be a great golfer, right? But just never be the Tiger Woods. But never market himself correctly, never got in bed.
I think that's a key to the marketing aspect, right?
There's again, it's an X factor. It's no one knows. It's a combination of a half dozen, 3 dozen things that makes one person, one entity, one band, one company rise to the top where the others struggle.
Yeah.
And talk about a couple of maybe those people or bands that you found doing the record label, because we didn't touch on the record label that much, but a couple things that you have an eye for.
Without a doubt. It's the X factor is explained by one person, and that's Travis, from Gym Class Heroes. And when Gym Class Heroes came in, and before Gym Class Heroes, Fueled by Ramen put out the record, and we had signed him. I was sitting making dinner, and I think I told Ty the story. Sitting there making dinner late at night, right? Well, not late at night, 6-ish, right? And I used to watch BET, right, and the countdown. But at the time, they were having like a rap battle for like amateurs, right? So it was this like contest where people would come in, they would rap battle, and then that winner would go to the next week, and then they would, whatever the case may be, right? And I remember like going in there, and there was an Asian kid on there, and then there's a kid that's sort of like big afro, and I thought, yeah, that kid, like, you know, there's something about it. I forgot all about it, and the Asian kid won, right? That, and got signed to Jay-Z, Rockefeller Records, and did whatever. But I got a demo at Fueled by Ramen, and it was rap, but backpack rap. So it was live music, and it was rap over, and I was like, this is really good, this is the thing. We should have a meeting. So when I met Travis, came into the room and automatically you feel it. Like, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's just when someone comes in the room, just naturally magnetic, and that's just the definition of that X factor is him. It just, there's something about him, his personality, looks, talent, whatever that was, mixture at the time, just coming into the room, you could feel it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
You get that in business too. Like they always talk about betting on, you can feel it. Like a lot of investors, they invest on the jockey, right? Not on the horse. Mm-hmm. They always talk about that. And they're like, even like I'm investing, even if this person's business, like I might be investing in this business, but even though if this fails, like I know that person is going to make it at some point.
Yeah.
So you get that X factor in business too. I think it's a great place to wrap this up. Unless you have anything else.
I've got about 100 more things.
I know. I think seriously. Well, again, Vinnie, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching the Side Hustle, guys. And make sure you tune in next week tune in for the next episode of the WHOA GNV podcast. We'll see you later. Bye.
See ya.